Welcome back, Midties, to Reviews in a Flash. I'm the Astonishing Melanie, and this is...
The Uncanny Omar. How are you all doing?
And
how are you?
Good. How are you?
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
And today we are going to review Kyle
Fleischhacker? Fleischhacker?
Fleischhacker, yeah.
I'm so sorry, Kyle.
Kyle Fleischhacker's
Bear Serum.
Bear Serum.
Before we get started, though, a huge apology. This video was originally supposed to come out over a month ago. That video file got lost and corrupt, so we had to do it again, and I wanted to do the book justice and read it again, but it is finally here. Kyle also sent us a t-shirt, 2 t-shirts.
Yeah.
Yours is dirty right now, but thank you so much. Now, let's talk about this very independent book that he self-published, Bear Serum. Again, Reviews in a Flash is always done in a non-spoilery kind of way. This is probably
non-spoilery kind of way.
Spoilery.
Spoilery.
So, basically, in the not-so-distant future, mankind is fighting amongst themselves. Imagine that. And there is a serum that's found at this Green Rock, this place called Green Rock. And this serum, this bear serum, transforms soldiers into bears. So they have it all out, and then, hey, guess what? Earth is no longer a good place to live. Let's hightail it out of here and move to another planet. We'll go take over their planet, and we'll call it Earth 2. You know, very pompous like that. Mm-hmm. But the inhabitants of this planet are like, no, what the hell? You can't do that. This is our planet. What were they called? The yawning, something like that. I can't remember. But pretty much it's that basic story. One of the remaining soldiers is the only one that can turn into a bear, because the traveling from here to there to Earth 2 does something to your body, and he's the only one that can transform from man to bear.
He's special.
Yes. There's also a political party.
But is that a good thing?
There's also a political party. There's this group called the Death Nine. There's a mayor's...
Which is a really cool name.
Yeah, it is. There's a mayor's daughter that's kind of a... How do I put it? Without spoiling it, kind of an ass. She's kind of an ass.
That's not spoiling it.
Well, I thought she was a good person at first,
okay,
but
well, you broke the rule. You spoiled it.
There is something very unique about this when we look at the artwork, and that is the interactiveness of this graphic novel.
Yes, you can. They have QR codes to scan, such as right here on the back. That's throughout the book. That leads you to a YouTube video with some music that the author felt, really sets the mood for the scene that you're reading. That there's some narration also that can add some to the backstory. So it's a really, I think, unique idea. I haven't seen a book an author do that before, where you scan the codes and it gives you more to the story, but you don't have to scan them. Like, it still makes complete sense. Without the codes.
I think Marvel had done the same thing a few years ago.
Oh, okay.
But this is something unique where it takes you to a YouTube channel. Where, you're right, the music sometimes sets the tone of what's happening in a particular scene. So, let's take a look at the artwork and come back and give our final thoughts.
So here we have the cover of Bear Serum.
So, QR code right from the beginning there.
There you go, digitally interactive.
Yep.
So that you are completely aware.
There's a quote right there from General Pine. He was kind of the guy that was behind the whole Green Rock and the Bear Serum. And actually, throughout the 9 chapters that are found in this book, there's always a quote at the very beginning. So
definitely helps set the mood.
Yeah. So this is the way it kicks off with your protagonist right there. And this is the kind of art to expect in here. It's very independent. Lot of use of splash pages.
Like here, I like the cartooniness of the thick legs that are kind of bigger, a little bit too big out of proportion. I like that.
Reminds me of characters from Appleseed, but that's another thing. I like the transformation scene when he turns into a bear. Spoilers, but the book is called Bear Serum.
Oh, there's a robot character that I think was so cute. I want to be his friend.
Oh yeah, I remember you telling me you like that robot character. So yep, here's some more, boring political stuff. Let's get to figured we show some of the action sequences so you can see how they lay out.
Yeah, again, I like the blockiness of the character design.
Yeah, it works, especially with this type of story. like the arrows that tell you where to follow. But most of the time what you're going to find are pages like this where, no, not like that, but full pages, rather, of just artwork. And then in between there, you'll see some sequential art done in panels. But as I mentioned, this reminds me a lot of the independent comics that I grew up reading back in the 90s. I always try to find that next big book that was going to be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now that we've looked at the artwork, we're going to give our final thoughts and our score. Melanie, what did you think of the story, the artwork? Because Kyle, we'll call him Kyle, Kyle was also the artist on the book. Mm-hmm. What did you think of the
Let's
everything?
see. I did get a little bit lost in the narration, and for me personally, that's something I need, is some more structure for my story for me to follow along. Definitely did a good job of setting a mood and, creating this world. I just got a little bit confused sometimes. The same with the artwork, that very unique art style. Perhaps in the future, just cleaning it up a bit would help me personally to follow what's happening with the book.
It's interesting that you talk about how you were a little lost, because they literally throw you in the middle of this story. There's no introduction like in the year 2098, nothing like that. It's just, you don't even really get to know the main character at all. Like, you don't get to know his name. You kind of understand the way that he is by the inner monologue, but through that inner monologue, you find out that the Bluetooth phones, they pave the way for these microchips that they install in your brain, and it got a little choppy to me. And
I think though, okay, with the QR codes, like I said earlier, I was under the impression you don't need it for the story, but perhaps at the beginning that would have helped.
To see it written down?
Yeah. My memory's fuzzy, but I think it helps with the beginning of the story.
Okay. The artwork, I think, I kind of dig it. It's very independent. It's very stylized. And it works for the book because, as I mentioned, it is a little bit choppy, the way that the story goes. But so is the artwork. And I kind of dig that about independent comic books. It is very ambitious. It's trying to be telling this epic story. But I think it really could have been tweaked a little bit to make it better and smoother. Not to say that it's horrible or bad or anything. It's just, I think it could have used perhaps some smoother artwork to transition. There's a lot of splash pages, and it kind of gets confusing with the narrative. So, what would you give this book?
So I score 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10? I think that's fair. Yeah, I think, you know what? It's the same. I was going to say 6 out of 10. So it's a 6 out of 10 from the Astonishing Melanie and the Uncanny Omar. And thank you so much to Kyle for sending us a copy of the book, for the t-shirts. Sorry you had to wait so long. But if you want to check it out, I'll put a link in the description to where you can pick this up through Amazon. I think there's a digital Kindle copy you can purchase, or you can own the physical copy if that's your thing. But thank you again. This has been Reviews in a Flash. It's been a while since we've done one of these. Yeah. We need to do more. Actually, we do have a couple more we need to do. But that is it for now. Thank you all. Melanie, would you like to sign us off?
You can support us on Patreon. You can Patreon.
Astonishing Melanie talk pretty one day.
You can, please hit the like, subscribe, and you can stay minty.
Nope, that's not our thing. But thank you for watching.